everyone. I just wanted to share a quick story that I think there'll be quite a lot of people out there who would be interested in this. Those of you who are currently leasing cars, and particularly Hondas. Now I'm coming up. I just came up on the end of a 3-year lease with my car, a Honda CR-V, and I had heard about the appreciating value of used cars and new cars, and I wanted to make sure that I got the equity out of this car, because even though, let's see, I leased my car 3 years ago and was given a guaranteed buyout price at the end of the lease, which was $18,000. And yet you look for a used one that same year, and on the internet, and they are going from anywhere. A trade-in price is something like $27,000. There's a range, but probably a little bit less than that, and up to a little bit more than that. And the retail price right around $30,000. So, anyways, I saw a YouTube video on about how a lot of car manufacturers will let you sell the car as you're leasing it. You can sell it to a third party directly and pay off your loan and make if make a profit or whatever. And I'd heard about these, this inflation or these elevated prices in used cars. So I thought, oh no. Well, I asked Honda, can I do that? And they said, no, Honda will not allow you to do that. You have to sell the car back to Honda, and not sell the car back. You have to give the car back to Honda, or you can buy it in your own name and title it. And then once you've titled it in your own name, you can go on again and go on and sell it to a third party. But you can't sell it directly to a third party. There were some car companies like Carvana and some of these other car companies that would maybe offer you a pretty decent price for a car, but not on Hondas. They can't. Honda won't allow it. So I had a meeting set up with my a guy, I guess a sales guy, and a guy in the office at the Honda dealership, and I went in, and I wasn't planning on giving the car right then and there, but I've learned. This is my second lease that I've done, and I've learned that things can happen quickly, and so I wanted to be prepared to give my car over right then and there if I was able to strike a good deal. So I said, what's the buyout price? I want to get the equity out of this myself, so I'm going to buy the car. And is it correct that I have to first title it in my own name before I can sell it? And he said, yeah, that's correct. And I said, okay, well, I want to finance this. I said, at my credit union, I can get maybe 2.98%. I said, what? He said, well, let me see what I can do in terms of a financing it with one of their companies. And he said, I can't touch that. And then he said, said, okay, well, I'll just go through my own credit union. And I guess he was seeing some opportunity being lost that for their company to make some money. So he said, he went over and talked to the manager or whatever, and he came back and he said, what price would you allow us to buy it for? What? I wasn't expecting this. And I said, well, here, let me look up look up what the value is, and I looked up on Kelly Blue Book, and I found a range for a trade-in value. And my car had very low mileage, and it was immaculate, and, looked brand new. So I thought I felt pretty good about it. But I said, okay, well, I didn't want to haggle too much with him. If I would have pushed it, maybe I could have got an extra $1,000. I don't know. But I said, well, how about this trade-in value here, 27 some odd thousand? So my buyout value was 18,000 and some change, and the trade-in value was 27,000 and some change, about a $9,000 difference. And he says, I could have haggled it, but I thought, well, if they're willing to buy it, I'll let them make a little money. I'll make money, and so, lo and behold, he said, "We'll do it. We'll pay you $27,000 in some change, and we'll buy your car from you." I thought, wow, I wasn't expecting that. So right then and there, I turned over the keys to the car. I went out the car, gathered my stuff out of there, had my wife come down, pick me up, and he cut me a check. I didn't get it took 2 days to get the check, but I walked away with $9,000. And if I calculated my payments, I was paying $337 a month I actually paid 35 months. So the last payment I was due to make soon, but because of this deal, I had made 35 payments. I think 35 times 337 works out to be, what was it? 11,000 or something, maybe close to 12,000. And I walked away with 9,000. So for using that car for 3 years, it cost me 2,000 and some change, maybe $3,000. So wow, that's yet another reason why leasing, in this case, in this market, was a boon for me. And as one of my son-in-laws, he says, "Oh, that goes directly against what who's that guy? The investment guru, the conservative investor guru, Dave Ramsey." He said, "Boy, that goes. You've proved Dave Ramsey wrong about leasing being a good deal." But anyways, the car. Anyways, if I had loved the car, I was planning on buying it anyways. We were gonna buy it outright. And there's many things I liked about the CRV. But one thing I didn't like, and especially at my age, and me and my wife, the suspension is just a little bit too stiff. I mean, you feel every dime in the road, boom, 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 boom. Especially in some of the roads around my house, which are very bumpy. You feel like you're getting beat up. And I love the handling of the car, the size of the car, the safety features. My wife loved the safety features and everything. The backup mirror and the warning bells you hear if somebody's passing on your right or your left. And some really nice safety features, but it was just a little too stiff for us. So I had originally thought that, oh, well, if I could get a good deal on a brand new Pilot. We had our 2004 Pilot that we totaled. My wife got run into, sideswiped on a freeway and got spun around, and it was a scary thing. But this is a few years back. And that 2004 Pilot, we loved that car. It was such a good car for us. My wife and daughter cried when we had to give that away. It was just a little bit too much damage. It was a rear collision damage, the rear end, and I thought it was maybe repairable, and I took it to a body shop, and he said, that rear collision and that sheet metal has now been compromised. It's not quite as safe as you could repair it, but your safety is diminished, blah, blah, blah. So, so anyway, that's how we came to start leasing some vehicles. The first car I leased was a HRV. Again, I like the car, but a little too small for us and stiff. We had the next one up, CRV. Love the car and the features and everything, except again, just a little bit too stiff. And then okay, let's um, consider the Pilot. But now with the price is going up. It'd be so expensive to. And I'm in kind of in semi-retirement, and I don't need an expensive car. So I'm thinking, now I'll take this money and look for this $9,000 and look for a high mileage, something in the maybe 10 years old, 12-year-old car range, a Lexus or a Honda. But now kind of, I'm telling too much, but my other car is a Lexus Avalon, and it was a salvage title. It was at a rear collision, and it was a salvage title car, but and I got a killer deal on it. I won't go into the story, but I've been driving that and had to have the alignment done, but it tracks. That's the best ride I've ever owned. It's such a powerful engine, smooth ride, luxurious interior. Oh man, I thought. So I was a little bit hesitant to buy a salvage title on that one, but it has paid off, and I wouldn't mind going for another Avalon and maybe have matching Avalons for me and my wife, but we do like have a SUV type vehicle for the snow and for anyway. So I'm thinking along the lines of high mileage 10-12-year-old Lexus or Toyota SUV, and there's not a ton out there. So but anyway, I'm in no hurry, and I work from home, and so we can get by with one car for a little while until I find the perfect car. But anyways, that's my leasing story, and I've had 2 great experiences leasing. And the thing about leasing that Dave Ramsey doesn't tell you, especially if you don't know if you want to buy the car, man, lease it. And if you love it, you buy it out at the end of the lease. They guarantee the price when you lease it, a 2-year or 3-year lease. You have a guaranteed price to buy it, or you could sell it like I did, or you could just turn it in at the end of the lease. So you got more options than you do if you were to go and buy a car. I know leasing has in some people's minds, has a bad reputation. I think a decade or so ago, or maybe longer than that, leasing was a different thing. But think about leasing when you are a lease customer. I think you're their favorite customer at the dealerships. They I was getting up to 13 minutes. Sorry, this is running long, but you just have so many options, and if you go into another lease, say, I didn't quite love that car. Let me try another, model, and boom, you go right into it, and it's a good way to test out a vehicle to see if you really want to buy it. But anyways, I love so much about the CRV that I was this close to wanting to buy it, but it's just that ride was just a little bit too rough. On a road trip on the freeway the whole way, it's not so bad, but in the residential areas and then that, it's just a little too stiff. But anyways, so that's my leasing story. I hope this helps some of you, and maybe give you the confidence now that you know that you can. And maybe it was because a CRV, maybe they had a customer already teed up to buy my car. They're not getting any new cars, hardly any new cars, hardly any used cars. You go to a dealer lot. This Honda dealership sells used cars, but most of the cars aren't even Hondas. They can't get it. They can't get enough cars, and so I can't help but think that they probably have a customer in mind that we could sell this tomorrow. So let's buy this from this customer. And anyway, so interesting turn of events. And as I had predicted, or not had predicted, I felt like be prepared to give your car right now. And I came home with this deal that I was happy with. I was happy with it. If I would have titled it myself, I could have maybe have sold it for one or two more thousand to somebody and dealt with. I didn't want to deal with all that. First I have to deal with my credit union and title it in my name, and then put it up for sale and deal with showing it and people coming to the house and things like that. It's like, no, thank you. So this was the best scenario I could have come up with. So I'm very happy. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye-bye.